Hey, Brass Facts here. Suppressors are pretty damn cool. At least that's what I have to tell myself every time I put a suppressor on as a lefty. And with wait times being at most a month, very often weeks, and sometimes even days, they are far more accessible than they've ever been before. But with the recent influx of buyers, I've gotten, well, a recent influx of suppressor related questions. Like with optics, the answer is always, well, it depends. What is your rifle? What do you intend to do with your rifle? What is your expectations? What features are you willing to give up on? And what features are really important for you? What did you have for breakfast? The usual. So I set up a live stream where you, the viewer, were able to submit through Subscribestar requests for suppressor recommendations. The thing is, I'm not really all that qualified yet to make full-fledged recommendations when accounting for the entire market yet. I'm working on it. Trust me, I got a lot of suppressor stuff coming up. I'm reviewing new ones as they come out, and I'm trying to build up my pool of knowledge. But at this time, I don't have that full knowledge and experience set, so I had the phone for help.
Hi, he's calling me Randy, but my name's John. I work for Silencer Shop. I have since 2022. You've probably seen me around at maybe at least as recently as NRAM up in Dallas. But otherwise, everyone just calls me Randy because that's my fake internet name and it sounds better. I've been in the firearms industry since basically my entire working adult life. I was a store manager for Easy Pawn before I started working for Silencer Shop in 2022. And ever since then, the autism has just grabbed me and has never let me go, you know.
I do want to point out, more people know you as Randy. I don't make the rules. Your name is now Randy.
Okay, so how exactly would the submissions work to get us all on the same page? Basically, you would submit a picture of your firearm that you want the suppressor for. You were able to submit more than one firearm, thus indicating to us that you would want to put the suppressor on a number of different firearms. The most common one was a number of AR-15s or an AR-15 and say a 300 Blackout or 308. And thus we would know, hey, this can needs to do a number of tasks, or this can just be dedicated to a single firearm. From there, you were able to choose on which criteria mattered to you the most: flash, weight, size, implying smaller, sound reduction, if the can was flow-through style, as well as the option to choose a lower back pressure can that was not flow-through style. You were able to pick all of these if you wanted, though it was highly encouraged that you'd only pick about 3 at most, because if you pick all of them, well, you're probably not going to end up with a good can because everything is a trade-off to a degree. From there, we allowed you to choose your budget and add commentary on if you had any specific requirements like QD, wanting to use specific muzzle devices, hub compatible, you name it. So fairly straightforward, and that was more or less it. That was the live stream. We went through 42 of these things. We got a little sidetracked. We absolutely bullied the shit out of some of the rifles submitted, and that took about 2 hours and 45 minutes. We did the same thing that we usually did, pushed it to Subscribestar if you want to see the full version. However, this was so useful that I decided, you know what? I'm going to edit it down to be something much more consumable and put it on the main channel. So, here it is. Hopefully you enjoy the shenanigans.
I got my best attire on for this one.
Yeah. Someone dressed up. It's just, it's not Strybog, it's Streebog. I don't know. They're pretty particular about that.
Yep. So the criteria here was the user wanted a suppressor that excelled at weight, small in size, and sound reduction. Well, fixed barrel design, so we don't need to worry about Nielsen devices. My initial reaction is Omega 9K because that's my general reaction to anything that's fixed barrel because I think it looks great. But Randy, I think you're a little more tuned in on pistol suppressors because when I bought my first pistol suppressor, you yelled at me for 3 hours. So you want to take this one?
Okay, so for this specific host, I would actually recommend the AB-F4L. It's under 5 ounces, direct thread only, half by 28.
Is this the sex toy one?
Yes, it's going to have those ribs because
Yeah.
it uses a modified Maxim baffle. Basically, these cans are naturally low back pressure, but they're very good at trapping gas and sinking heat, so they sound fantastic.
And if the prospective buyer doesn't want a suppressor that looks like an HR Gear inspired dildo, they could maybe go with wow, so many pop-ups. Really going to ruin the stream. Thank you. Omega 9K.
Yeah, the Omega 9K
Brass Facts recommendation.
Fantastic. It's kind of similar. It's still going to be a short, very dense, subsonic focused can. Works great. You'll have to buy a different mount though because it ships with a 5/8 by 24.
So this one's super easy, right? It's obviously a DMR. That thing is it doesn't matter that there's a proof barrel on this thing. This thing's a pig, right? This is going to be a heavy rifle. It's a DMR style rifle. It's got a heavy scope. And for his can, super simple. He wants a can that mitigates sound to all else. That's all he cares about. Sound reduction at a budget of $500. That's where it gets difficult. Probably just,
I was going to suggest, like, maybe instead of putting a suppressor on this gun and ruining it, the money should go towards replacing what looks like a Vortex Diamondback or something.
So he can't actually afford to shoot this gun with a $500 budget and a Diamondback. Yeah. So the suppressor is going to be very effective on that note. Hold on, is that a proof barrel?
It looks like a carbon wrapped proof barrel to me.
So he spent all the money on the proof barrel and then ran out of money for the optics. Randy, do you think you can pull off $500?
No. The can I would actually recommend would probably be either the Flow 762 Ti, obviously, because that would be like just the best turnkey option, no modifications, install, run, works, no problems.
Mm-hmm.
If he was worried about how long the rifle is, if this was my rifle, I would spend the $1,000 to custom order a AB Raptor 2 with the 5-inch reflex. So 5 inches of the silencer goes over the barrel. There's maybe 4 inches of silencer sticking out the end.
This is a DMR. You're not really running and gunning with this thing. You don't care about the length and or weight nearly as much as we would in any other scenario. And homie put a $500 price tag. Lahar 30.
Yeah, I mean, Lahar 30, Polonium 30.
Put a Lahar 30 on it. It's about $600, I think. Yeah. It checks the box. It's a good can.
Wait, hang on. I got to play this game.
Arrow position.
It's cheating.
Randy, quiet. We're trying to get 15% off because we need to get this thing under $500.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Good.
I have to wait. I have to. So today's stream has been brought to you by Venture Surplus. Almost everything we do these days is brought to you by Venture Surplus. They're our homies.
This alcohol and alcoholism and liver destruction was in fact brought to you by Venture Surplus.
One of the few things you can't find at venturesurplus.com is alcohol because I don't think they have a liquor license. They're a surplus shop. But Venture Surplus specializes in American gear. So surplus camouflage clothing, gear, molly, web gear, that kind of stuff. Also, the MREs, they asked us not to make too big a deal about the MREs because they're just exhausted trying to ship out MREs to people. But the MREs are pretty sick. You can also do the individual MRE thing now. So if you're like, hey, I really wanted to try the pizza slice because it's been around for a couple of years, but actually finding a complete MRE pizza slice meal, not easy. You could just order the pizza slice, which is the only part of it you actually want to taste test. And anybody who's currently active duty will tell you, dude, it's an MRE. Of course, the pizza slice is going to be like kind of, below the par of third grade lunch, but still, you got to try it because it's pizza and an MRE. However, what you should actually be doing instead is probably taking out their cold weather clothing because it is kind of getting to that time of year. It's the best season where you can actually go outside and not hate yourself. And
carry a full-size gun underneath.
Exactly. Your full-size gun season, your jacket season. I love jacket season. So military surplus gear is like the best quality, and it's also American made that you can get for the money. It's sort of a little bit of a life hack. You let the government buy it and then you wait 20 years and then you buy it back from them. And the savings is taken directly out of your taxes.
All right, let's move it on to the next one, which is clearly a show-off picture, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. In this one, his objective is flash, weight, and size. So I think that's a pretty decent thing. So essentially, size and weight, right, kind of work together, right? Shorter cans are lighter weight, so it's not so hard to do. And so he's basically performance-wise, he's after flash.
I'm more or less getting hung up on the fact that he's got a DNC camo wrap for a Holosun laser box.
My initial instinct is since he already has that muzzle device and it's probably pinned and weld, like maybe a mini.
The Mini 2 would be good.
It's decent on flash. Like I fucked with them. Not like amazing.
It's good. It's good on flash if the barrel is longer than 14.5 inches. So he wants something that has a very long end space, basically the gap between the last baffle and the end cap. If you have a big end space, usually that translates to better flash reduction. So yeah, something like the Polonium would be a good choice. Maybe the Radical Defense CS5. He could replace the mount with the B&T Surefire mount, but
Can you talk to me a little bit more about the CS5? I'm not too familiar with it.
So it is a 3D printed can. It comes in either Haynes 282, which is a primarily chrome alloy, or titanium. It's basically, you have a center, basically twist. So you take a center path and you twist it. So you have a spiral, and then the spiral itself is hollow. So it is low back pressure, but it has a good front end space, and it's actually really good at reducing flash as it is. But it's relatively short, so you won't really mind it on a longer barrel. It's relatively light despite the material, like 16 ounces for a Haynes 282 can. That's 1.75 diameter. That's fantastic. Ooh.
It's with oh my Jesus, that's the carpet on Muzzle Device. What would you kind of go to? You know, I have my tastes. Hop has posted numerous videos on his taste, right? You like Plan B, Hop, right? For Muzzle Devices. Randy, what would you like as a muzzle device? For a muzzle device, you will actually use standalone, and then you put the can on when you want to use it. So we care about return to zero, we care about consistency, and we care about having a good muzzle device with the can off. What would you recommend in that vein?
Plan B owns the market. I mean, Reardon has their R2S. They have the extended closed time flash hider. What else could you ever want? I mean, you time it so you don't kick up dust on the bottom, and it hides flash just as good as an A2. What else would you like?
I'm a big fan of all the Reardon stuff, because you've got the long devices that are long enough to be pin and welded, like the R2S, which is just a great birdcage flash hider.
It's great. It's fantastic.
YHM's new SRX stuff seems pretty good, but I just don't think it's like, I don't think it's actually pre-drilled for pins, even though the long muzzle devices are long enough to be pin and welded on a 14.5, which is a weird misstep. SRX seems like a really good system, but it also makes kind of wonder, like, is this actually better than Plan B, or is this just a way for me to autism match my brands? Because, you know, I like doing that stuff. So I got my YHM can, my YHM muzzle device, my YHM adapter, and I'm like, sweet, it's all YHM. How nice. I think they're more or less interchangeable, but like, why not just go Plan B, dude? Plan B is so good. It is light and short. So if you go with a mounting system like ASR, like Chemo, or like the Surefire system, you have a very long, very heavy, like ratcheting system, or with some additional like locking collar or something like that. Same thing with YHM Phantom, although most of that bulk and weight is actually in the muzzle device, not in the mount attached to the suppressor. But it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen together. Those types of fast attached systems add a lot of like weight and length. It's not good length. It's not like suppressor length where you're like, oh, the suppressor's longer, it therefore should have more volume, should be more effective. It's just a bunch of bullshit taken up by, you know, the muzzle device and the mount. You look at a 14.5 pin and weldable Reardon R2, almost the entire thing is the tines of the flash hider, and then way at the back end is the mounting interface. So for a similar length can, more of that length is actually given over to effective muzzle device and baffles and volume of the suppressor.
The volume of that first chamber, right?
Right.
And then it's their taper, if I recall correctly, right?
And then, yeah, it's either taper or is it dual taper? I'm not really sure like where the second taper is. I'm sure it's on there somewhere. But you have like one tapered surface, which gives you a lot of friction because something to do, again, this is a science thing, I don't really care, but like something to do with the taper means that there's like a bunch of surface area. So you have a very good gas seal. And then the taper also is in front of the threads. So the threads stay clean. No matter how many rounds you shoot, all the gases are blocked by the taper. They bottom out all the way in the same place every time. You know, that's good for your return to zero because it's very consistent, but it's also good for your accuracy because once the suppressor's on there, it doesn't move. It doesn't wobble back and forth. So yeah, it is, as far as I know, pretty much awesome.
Important component to note here.
There's a cat.
And I also recognize the cat.
That's true. We also know this cat. We are on a first name basis with this cat.
We are on this cat. We've fought tooth and nail for this cat.
Excellent. Okay, so all he wants is flash reduction and lightweight. So he's asking for a K-can, essentially, right? No talk about muzzle device, no nothing, although that does. Yeah, he wants a 5.56K can. I'm not going to say it. Are you going to say it? You should say it. You're not going to say it? Okay.
Polonium kit.
The problem is once you got a Geisley rail.
Yeah, once you got a
Geisley, a certain tier of things, and I feel like this demands a Surefire can.
It demands an RC Mini.
It's already a heavy bitch because of the Geisley handguard. You might as well put like a how much does the RC2 Mini weigh? It's like a 16-ounce K can.
With muzzle device, it's about 17 ounces altogether. The can itself is about 14.5.
Holy Lord! So a Polonium K with no mount is 10 ounces. So yeah, that's the reason we keep recommending the Polonium K. But no, go ahead, go all the way. Surefire this thing.
All right, let's do the Battleship camo from World War II. Excellent.
Ooh. Oh, that's excellent.
I used to hate it. It's growing on me. It's growing on me.
Is this just the Diamondback stream? Like, that's another Diamondback, isn't it? Did I accidentally say something nice about the Diamondback at some point? I mean, I had a 4-16 that wasn't terrible, but
it already has a Plan B flash hider with a thread protector on the front. So
does it? Okay, yes. Oh, wow, you instantly could tell that. Yeah, so he wants a lightweight short can. I think he just wants to put a can on here to take the edge off, immediately realize that it's an 18-inch gun, and then take it right back off again. It's kind of not great. Oh, Kamala beat Donald Trump. Latest poll updates?
Yeah, Turbo K or YHM Fat Cat would be perfect. Just take the mount off, sell it, get the Plan B mount so you can use your existing muzzle device. You'll love it. It'd be great.
All right, let's keep it rolling to, is this another Geisley? No, actually. It's just very aggressive, disgusting anodizing. Looks
There's
like
some stuff going on here that I don't totally agree with.
Oh my God. Okay, he's got a chemo on it. We can recommend a dead air. Hey!
Get a Dominus SR from Thunderbeast and be happy. You will never be sad. It is light. It sounds good. The return to zero is better than Surefire somehow. And yeah, it's just a good can.
Cool.
If you don't
actually looks cool. That picture sucks. Hire someone else. Also, that web design in general.
But their mounting system, the return to zero, and the actual precision of the can itself. Thunderbeast is it's not the biggest shop, but they are heavily invested into the autism of the construction of a silencer. They even match like the grains on the bar stock they use to cut the baffles.
That's cool.
They also make a 50 cal suppressor that is as large as my thigh, and if you've seen my thighs, you know they're pretty large.
That thing is cool. Holy
right?
crap.
It's great. I love
the Ultra 50. Fuck the other thing. This thing. Put this on this SPR. Next up is the MCX thing.
Your favorite.
So note he will cut the gun down to be a short barrel rifle. So he's changing it to a 12.5. Okay, so he wants low weight, small size, short barrel gun, budget 500. God damn it.
This stream was brought to you by Otter Creek Labs.
Actually, for this guy,
Randy, you're gonna cost us our Otter Creek Lab sponsorship. Shut the fuck up.
He can't shoot.
Oh, this is the 20. Oh, okay, I missed that. So he wants to shoot 5.56 and 22 through this rifle. So he's going to use a conversion kit for training purposes, which means he wants to be able to clean it, which means he needs to be able to disassemble, like unthread the end cap and pull the baffles out or something to that effect.
So a Gemtech Trek 2.
Not the Trek 2 would be great, or the Griffin Paladin 5. But both of those are over his budget, so he should wait another month or two before he buys his can.
Wait, what was the budget on this one?
500. Yeah.
Dude, 637 is close enough to our the target limit of 500.
It's
saving so much money with this 22 LR that
it's one of the few 5.56 cans that has removable baffles, other than the Trek 2. But the Paladin 5 is like the only one that ships with a taper mount and a muzzle device in box.
Let's keep it rolling. This guy is, I'm pretty sure he's showing off, but he's also showing off how terrible decision he makes because he bought the PBS clone from Dead Air.
We got the 25-ounce suppressor on the end of the lightweight monolithic polymer gun.
Yep. So he wants the mount Plan B compatible, and he wants it to be flow through. So I think that really narrows it down to like one can or two cans. The Hux Works one that's compatible.
The Ventum.
Ventum, that's it. Ventum. So why are we going with the the Velos over the Ventum.
The core is titanium. It's going to
Okay.
spark a lot, and I personally really don't like the sparking. But I actually really like the Ventum itself. I just wish the core was like steel or Haynes or anything that didn't spark as much.
That's entirely fair. Yeah.
They're great silencers. They're actually really easy to clean too, so you can technically use them for rimfire. The core is a 3D printed. You know those old avant-garde lamps that had like the curves?
All right, Hop.
As like
Let's
the
make
shade?
it happen. Let's go.
No,
Campbell Soup Company is closed.
they like let me find one that would because what I'm describing is what the Bassel looks like.
I have got to give you major props on the reference that nobody but you will ever get.
That's what it looks like. That is exactly what the core looks like.
So we've moved on from H.R. Giger's dildo into H.R. Giger's shower loofah.
It's a 5.56 gun, and he wants a small size and sound reduction. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a polonium K.
It's a Turbo KRB.
Or
It's
that.
a Turbo KRB, it's a Polonium K, or if he's fine with doing a little more tuning, a GP5.
Oh, let's look at the GP5 again, real quick. Pull up.
It's a Trek 2, but welded with no outer
Japanese
tube.
hybrid CV. Oh,
So
Brock, you got to stop reading the news, man. It's not good for your blood pressure, okay? Yeah,
Okay,
no,
yeah.
so the Griffin GP5 is like the suppressor that I wish I knew existed when I bought my Trek 2 because it's literally the exact same can, but it weighs like what, like 3 or 4 ounces less?
Mhm.
More
Well,
than
okay. This is the most current version. I think this is
11
the mod-
ounces? My Trek 2 weighs 17 fucking ounces.
I kind of want one. That's a
Yeah,
pretty
it's a good
slick,
can.
pretty
It's
slick
definitely
can.
worth
Okay,
a
I'm glad we went down this route and found a Polo K alternative. So, Randy, what is your go-to lightweight 30 cal capable suppressor where we care about, suppressor performance, flash, sound, all that kind of stuff?
For if it has to be lightweight, Radical Defense LS3 Ti. It is a dedicated 300 blackout design silencer. It's not technically a low back pressure design, but it is.
Oh, I'm just
anyway.
ignoring what he put.
Oh, okay. But it's probably one of my favorite 300 blackout silencers besides the Surefire SPS 300. But that one's like super gassy and it's also like 20 ounces. So 300 blackout subsonic ammo in general benefits the most from a long can.
Okay.
Baffle density, diameter matters a little less, but length is the thing that matters the most. So if money's no object, or like he said, 1200, right?
Yeah, so that's a pretty, you can get a lot of stuff with that. And he doesn't.
Dead Air, I hate to say it, but Dead Air LTI XC would also be a very excellent can for this. I personally run a previous gen LT on my 300 blackout PTW. Let's move on because this one's actually interesting because he has a 8.6 Soulless Pistol, and all he cares about.
Well, he's got a stock photo of one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably a work in progress. So he wants the biggest fucking can we can get on here, probably, right? Most volume.
So what I would do is I would take that gun to a gunsmith, lathe out the handguard a little bit, and put an AB Raptor A10 with a in 375 caliber with a 5-inch reflex. So he's going to have to modify the handguard a little.
Oh my,
that's
that's totally.
Oh no. Half of that can goes over the barrel.
Okay,
Well,
that's
certainly,
cool.
but mine got.
But that's basically perfect. Perk shot's great.
Take a shot every time Hop has to close one of these auto openings.
Yeah, take it. Oh,
my
2 for
God.
1. Fuck you, Q. KB, you motherfucker. Every single time I got to close one of those. How old are you? 18, 21, 16?
Sign up to my email list.
Hey, settle down, Dr. Disrespect. Okay, I'm looking at gun parts. Obviously, I'm of age.
Let's keep it rolling. This is a cool gun, right? By the way, it's like a fixed K.
Brock, there's in the chat. There is actually currently a drinking game where they drink every time you say "Let's keep it rolling," which means that everybody in chat currently is blackout.
All
Is
right,
this
next
BG's
up.
gun? This is BG's gun. Right?
No, it's not.
It's not
It's
PG's
actually a Plastic Guy's gun.
Shit, Hop already has me preempted. I was going to say either the Rugged Oculus or the Optimus.
This is why you guys need a Randy in your corner. Okay.
But otherwise, like I think everyone should probably at some point own an Oculus. It's just a good can. Lightweight, modular, steel baffles, easy to clean. The mount doesn't walk off. Comes in 2 colors. Price
The
is
tan one looks good. Yeah.
yeah, it looks
Of course you
great.
would
And then
think that. You
Rugged
guys
has,
Desert
bar
City.
none, the best warranty in the industry. They quote 2 business days in their shop for any repairs.
Let's go with the next one. I think I can field this one.
What should we be doing, Brock? Should we be keeping it something?
Progressive.
Progressing, right? We should keep things progressing. We should keep things apace.
So this thing is obviously a bait. His requirement is durability, reliability, and consistent repeat to 0. He has an RC2 on the end of the gun. He already knows what he wants, and he already knows what the answer is. It's an RC2, right?
You know what I like?
Like
Let's just not even
architectural-
talk about the suppressor aspect of this, because why bother? Obviously, it's just a fucking joke post.
Yeah.
I don't know what your hand looks like, but I know that this tape switch and hand stop combination doesn't actually work for you, and you would know that if you ever shot this gun. Also, I can tell that you've never slung this gun. I feel like you probably shoot it with the sling still stowed, because you have a non-padded Pharaoh. This is the unpadded version of the Pharaoh sling. Also, you've got one of these fucking incredibly cringe sling stowage points on there, which is extremely important if you really like to put your gun in the bag and take it out of the bag, but you don't ever like to actually shoot it. And then the fact that you mixed and matched brands of, oh, wait, he's got the fucking, all right, never mind. All right, we got to kill this guy with, if not hammers, something else equally blunt. So he's got the CAC special edition battery cap, which is never in stock, meaning he did pay scalper prices for it in order to get his hands on one of those things. And he did mix and match brand of magnifier and red dot.
Yeah.
So this guy is a bad human being.
Okay, so I have 2 30 cal guns, but the important one is the 5.56 gun. And the can he wants for this is, he wants all the things. He wants low weight, small in size, sound reduction, and he wants a flow through can to accomplish the task. That's brutal. Like, that is a tough set of requirements. It needs to be 30 cal, and it needs to be flow through. Is that the Ventum? Yep.
Yeah, it's the Ventum. That's the Velos, I guess. You could get the Velos adapted to all these mounts, but actually, this one's perfect for the Ventum. It's probably what I would choose.
Let's pull up a Ventum or a bicycle. We could pull up a bicycle as well. Well, remember, it has to be 30 cal as well.
Yeah, no,
we have to get the 30 cal Ventum.
Yeah, get the 7.62 Ventum. None of these rifles are set up for night vision, so we don't care about sparking, I don't think.
Yeah, and he's got an O-light on the fucking gun. So,
and he's got another Vortex Diamond pack. Yeah, I think instead of 3 guns, there could probably just be 1 gun here, and that would probably be like a little smarter use of money. But we've all been to that point where instead of finishing a build, we start a new build because it gives us a little bit more of that dopamine hit, and dopamine is very hard to come by. And
okay, next up, an actual, legitimately, honest-to-God handgun. Is that a 226? Yeah.
No, that's a Mark 25 226.
It's much, much worse than a 226.
So that looks like
Navy SEALs approved. It has the little fucking.
So he wants a can. He's got a good budget of $1,200, and he wants a quiet can that isn't going to break his gun. I'm going to make the argument right out of the gate. If we can, we should try for something that doesn't use a Nielsen device, because I think that's the shit's black magic.
Personally, yeah, Spectre. You can get the Raptor, or no, not the F4. You can get the F4 in 13.5. The Cash 9K from Hux Works would also be great.
Cash 9K, I'm going to have to go ahead and do the executive veto on the Cash 9K because they use the $ in place of the S. And that is that is in the government's database now. Like, the ATF has this as the name of their suppressor, Cash with a $ 9K. And it's like, yeah, I don't think we should be contributing to this kind of degeneracy in this stage of society. So let's go ahead and close that one out. And then we got 2 options left, which is the AB F4.
Mm-hmm.
Shockingly.
Actually, three if you include the Spectre 9. I know Brock's got one of these, the new Spectre.
Love the Spectre. Great can. Nice
Shockingly interesting suppressor. Because you see the pictures of it and you're like, okay, whatever. But then 3.9 ounces. You're like, whoa.
Right?
Yeah, this thing's kind of fucking nuts.
All right, let's do this one with the ACOG on it, right? This is the I should have bought a TAO2 ACOG, the build.
Oh, that is. Yeah, you're right. That is the battery-powered illumination add-on.
Mm-hmm.
That is really unfortunate, I gotta say. And the ripcord rail, which I feel like isn't being utilized to its fullest extent, because like it's a very specific handguard to choose, and then you choose it, and then you just don't use it for anything. Quite strange build. This guy's definitely from your Discord, not mine.
Okay, so he wants a cheap, duty-rated, back pressure is not an issue, hub compatible. What is it, ladies and gentlemen? I think. Okay.
Desperately cringe build, obviously. Somebody took a beautiful Munition Works rifle, and then I guess they just dead-ass ruined it, which is sad.
Check the box of having sound suppression and flash reduction without ruining the rifle with weight. Titanium is unacceptable.
Sam NK, because it's built for fighting, not for hiding. So this is where like we get into the thing I was talking about earlier of like how much of the suppressor is dedicated to just the mount. This is a very short suppressor, and like about 50% of it is just mount and blast baffle. So you've got a baffle or two at the end. Like this is the problem with a very, very large, complicated mount. You look at this suppressor and you think that probably suppresses equivalent to like a Turbo K or whatever, or any other like K can. But no, this is about half the size. Yeah, I mean, like this is the kind of suppressor that you could legitimately put on every gun and it will never die, like, you know, all that sort of stuff. But it's also the meme, Mr. Recky on Instagram. Love that guy. He's got exactly my kind of autism. He will always be making fun of the guys who buy a suppressor that, like, quote unquote, just takes the edge off. It's like, you know what else just takes the edge off? Swapping your muzzle brake for a flash hider. But whatever, go ahead for it.
Honestly, I didn't consider it, but the flow is a good fit for that thing.
Yeah,
my only issue with the flow is that muzzle device is fucking worthless without a can on top.
Yeah.
The Hux flash hiders sound like brakes, and the brakes sound like nuclear bombs, so they're kind of annoying in that way.
Next is
let's keep it. Yep, it's not terrible.
I love our standard of commentary has fallen.
Yeah, I would.
Looks like he's about to go on safari with it, but.
All right, first time can buyer, second time caller, 14.5 mid length with A5, whatever, not too important. He is looking at the RC2 Mini or a Ventum, but we'll ignore that for now and let's see what his actual criteria is. He cares about weight and he wants it small.
Ventum's relatively lightweight and it's not the longest can on the market, but you can do shorter and you can do lighter. Personally, I think
seafood for skeptics, even shrimp has.
Stop reading the news.
Yeah, either version of the White Boy will come with everything you need in the box for mounting. So yeah, there won't be any concerns with that. Yeah,
I will say that, like, if you've got to come up with a name for your low back pressure technology that is legally distinct from flow through, surge bypass is fucking sickest shit.
Right?
Surge bypass. Like, man, I don't know. Some of their branding seems incongruous, like the fact that, you know, these drawings exist and then this horrible, sad logo of like the cat on fucking street fence. Everything else about like their suppressors looks really nice though. Like, look at that shit. I do like that this comes with not one but two t-shirts.
Yeah, because the Griffins come with one t-shirt, so they're upping it with two t-shirts.
Well, if you buy the short round, it comes with a bag of rice.
Sorry, what? Oh wow, that's so.
Yeah, they shipped it with a bag of rice.
They shit it with a bag of rice. Fucking
Rock, you're bagging on your people, man.
Oh my fucking god!
I told you, man.
Yeah. Okay, so pictured. This gun is pictured with a Sparrow, but he doesn't like the Sparrow. I have a mask that sounds really good, but it's a heavy pig bitch. So he wants a lightweight can that still does that cool 22 LR thing where you can go drinking with the boys and shoot, you know, bottles and do it so quietly without hearing protection.
YHM Phantom 22, the only suppressor purchase that I've ever been happy with. It's because YHM is based. I don't know, man. Like, I don't have a good reason for it. This was the suppressor that was affordable and it was in stock, and it also replaced my dog shit Form 1 suppressor. And then the first time I shot with the Phantom 22, I was like, oh, so that's what a 22 can is supposed to sound like. Nice.
The Flow 22 is excellent, super cool, kind of weird to clean. And on a Mark V, you may find it doesn't generate enough back pressure with subsonic ammo. It will.
That's the OCL TI 22.
It'll generate enough back pressure to cycle everything,
Okay.
just like the Phantom will. The Hux might be quieter to the shooter, but because it generates less back pressure, less port pop on direct blowback 22 hosts, some ammo won't cycle.
All right. He wants a small can that's good at sound reduction. Say it with me.
Turbo KRB.
Cool.
YHM Fat Cat, Radical Defense CS5. Let's move on. Let's go to the fun one.
All right, let's go for the final one. Kind of a great one to end on. Kind of a little spicy boy. Everyone is, quote, screaming to have a can on. You dig? See, I ain't trying to make too much noise out here. I scooped up these pieces when I was magnet fishing down here in Miami. Yeah, pulled them right up them out of the water like it was nothing. But, man, they loud as hell, drawing way too much attention. We got to keep it low key, so I'm looking to slap some silences on these joints. Make them purr instead of bark. You know what I'm saying?
Let's put an AB F4L, the long version, on each one. 4 of them. I bet you AB will sell you a 4-pack if you ask.
Honestly, he sounds like he would want a sex toy.
For some reason, the sex toy aesthetic actually looks really good in my mind's eye on a Tech 9. I don't know why.
That was a long fucking scream. Fuck.
What an exhausting experience that was.